So I bought these cages. They're known as, I've heard a few different names for them: Gabions, Gaspians, Gables. So and all they are is just a wire mesh box, which you fit together. You can either just use wire to wrap it around to curl, or you can use these curly things, which work really well. I wish I'd got more, actually. It would have been easier with them, but still, it'll be okay. Anyway, you thread them through, and then they sit there as a box. But then what you do, because obviously this wouldn't do anything as it currently stands, you just fill them. Now you can fill them with, well, I suppose you can fill them with lots of things, but rocks. I mean, soil I suppose wouldn't work because it would just come out. But you fill them with rocks, and the reason for that is, I mean, they use them in all sorts of areas. You can use them in gardens, which is what I'm going to do. You might have seen them when you're out and about as a stabilising wall. They even use it for ocean defences. So just depending on the level. I've obviously just got not a particularly heavy duty one. So the area where they're going to go is along the border. So I don't really ask questions, I just fix any problems I find. But basically, the hardcore which was brought into the garden, so the entire garden has got hardcore down, and the edge of it is piled against a fence, which isn't going to work long term anyway, and there was just sort of plasterboards stopping it. So again, it kind of was doing the job, but there's no way it's going to do the job forever. So by doing this, it solved two problems. One, it means the side of the house, the side of the border is sorted. It's not going anywhere, because each one of these, I think they're 50 centimetres wide, 50 centimetres deep, and most of them are 2 metres long. So that's, well over a ton of rocks. Now, the other bonus that it provided, so not only just providing strength, the other bonus was, and is, that in sorting out the hardcore, so all we're doing is sieving that with the digger. In clearing that out, we've got loads of rocks, some of it rubble, some of it's nice stone, but we've got a lot of it. So I could either get a skip and get rid of it that way, which all costs money and could be wasteful. Whereas with this, it works great because I'm going to put all of that in these boxes. I did have a plan of doing it all super neat, like a dry stone wall, and making it look pretty. But then very, very quickly, just for the sheer amount of time and things it would take, that went out the window. So all these boxes are joined together. So even though individually they're about 2 meters long, with these curly wires, I join them together, so it's one long stretch. So I think in total at the moment it's about 8 meters, but when I'm finished it'll probably be about best part of maybe 16 meters. So it'll be one long wall which is all holding each other together. So you can see here I've filled them with rocks, rubble, everything basically, but because they're not particularly filled very formally, they're just shoved in, you get lots of gaps, which shouldn't be a problem. But just to make sure it's not a problem, I'm using gravel just to pour it in, and all that is doing is filling some of the voids just to prevent movement. And as you know, I've still got plenty of gravel, so that's great. It's definitely a hard job to do this, but once it's all in place, I'll shut up, all the lids will be closed, we'll bank the soil against it. We've done it so they're slightly leaning, so they're going to slightly lean into my garden. So we'll get the soil all banked against that, and then that just gives us a real strong border. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do with it. I've cut all the lelandai back flush to the border, partly because I don't like lelandai, but also because I needed the room. But now I haven't decided whether I'm going to do something similar like I planned at the front with espalier fruit trees, or whether to maybe grow just trees along there, or another idea I could get your climbers or your ivies or your ground spreaders sort of plants, and they'll all, even though it's only rocks and things, there's plenty of plants which will love this sort of surface and will grow all over it to cover it. So I don't know at the moment. The main thing for this is just fixing the edge of the border first. That is the main reason, and then the fact it gets rid of all the rocks as well, and creates a unique habitat for growing things is great. And again, there's all sort of little gaps and voids and things like that, which are all helpful for things to hide in. So the wildlife garden keeps coming, keeps growing. So I hope you're enjoying the journey. Please like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, so far so good.